good house, Dave. Very good house.
We are all the daughters of Tevye, and we are destined to leave our father's home, so many of us, to seek a better life, to escape persecution and discrimination and find a home where we are treated with dignity and equality. And fate has led us to leave Anatevka and our shtetl and our home in our town and seek a new place, to wander either in the diaspora or to go to Israel to find a true home. And so many of our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents, and even ourselves have been forced by the circumstances of modern times to wander from one country to another to protect their lives and have a better future. And these chapters, these stories are part of the chapters of modern Jewish life. And today we would like to turn to one chapter, that of the immigration of the Jews who lived in a town in Syria, Aleppo, for millennia, a celebrated Jewish town where the Jews began to leave the beginning of the 20th century. And they left for different destinations. Most of them came to New York. And among those who came here were Connie's grandparents and parents. Connie herself was born in Brooklyn and migrated to Manhattan, where we live. And these have been the only two places we have lived, except for the time when I was in the Army and we were living in France. But although Connie has not traveled far in search of a home, she is a product of a community, the Syrian Sephardic community. And having grown up in this community, she has internalized the values and the way of life of a whole Jewish civilization. It is as if she were a traveler in time, because she carries with her the baggage, the happy baggage, having been part and continues to be part of the Syrian Sephardic community and others as well. I am proud to introduce our Connie Goldfarb.
I moved to Manhattan for Wagner and discovered Torah. I'm a poster girl for the law of unintended consequences. But that's in medias res where all journeys begin. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and tell you how I got to that place. Yeah, you're good. I'm high challenge. Okay. I'm going to speak about the community, the outside world, and then how I wound up at West End. The community is not just a community or our community, but the community. The Jewish Syrian Aleppo community transplanted in lockstep from Aleppo, Syria to Brooklyn, New York. This chapter also has three stages: the cocoon, the chrysalis, and the butterfly. People ask how I feel about what's going on in Syria today. My only distress is that it's a wonderful country is being bombed back into the Stone Age. My Syrian community will soon celebrate the 100th anniversary of their migration to America. It never looked back. It didn't have to. they brought Aleppo with them. In the community, custom took the place of halacha. In a lecture about the diaspora of Jews from Spain to the New World, the speaker spoke of the Jews from Aleppo. No matter where they settled, they built a wall around themselves. You couldn't get in, you couldn't get out. But on the other hand, they absolutely integrated into the country in which they came, economically, socially, and of course, with fashion. I was once coming from a conference and speaking to the person next to me on the plane. He says, I can identify where everybody comes from. He says, and I always know it's Syrian because of the way his wife is dressed. I'm not sure we were really Jewish. We had strange customs. We spoke Arabic, not Yiddish. We honored our living grandparents by naming our children after them. In fact, there's an example here today named after David. We had odd life cycle customs. We ate strange food, cereal bread. I remember my friends and I used to have to hide when we were eating lunch in school, hiding it, because we had this strange bread, pita bread, instead of white Wonder Bread. But I've lived long enough to see that all our foods, which were very strange at the beginning, have become mainstream. Not only mainstream, but gourmet. Pita bread, yogurt, bulgur wheat, fila dough, stuffed grape leaves, hummus. We ate rice on Passover. We still practice the ritual of kaporas on Yom Kippur, but with chickens, not livestock. We chanted a different kind of Hebrew. One of my colleagues, who was brought up in Bensonhurst, said that his widowed mother put him into the Syrian Talmud Torah. When the father came from Poland, she very proudly asked him to daven. And after he did, she says, my God, what kind of religion is that? My name ended in a vowel. Now, that was good and bad. I was able to get jobs in those anti-Semitic times, which wouldn't hire Jews. But on the other hand, when I went out with someone, his friends chastised him and says, isn't it time you started dating Jewish girls? And worst of all, this is really the ultimate. We didn't eat Chinese food and go to a movie on Christmas. David, I think we can turn the thing over now. It was a close-knit, supportive community, in some ways proto-reconstructionist. Everyone was nominally Orthodox, but low-key. There was no need for more liberal movements to take hold. The rabbi was revered and hired for life. When he walked down the aisle, the men bowed and kissed his hand.
Thing, so do this.